Okay, so I saw this screenshot in the Nice Guy subreddit. I will be changing words for censorship purposes. He says, know what sucks about my generation? You either have to be good looking or have a lot of money to catch any attention from women. A lot of women nowadays are too effing stuck up to even try to talk to because they believe they deserve a greed filled life. I know ugly guys like me are never first pick, but from how I've been seeing stuff lately, good looking guys are always treating women like I know for damn sure I'm not perfect, but I never treat a woman like my mom would beat my effing butt all over the place if she found out I was treating a girl like don't really understand nowadays why a lot of women in my generation go for guys that treat them like guess I'll never understand, but at least give the ugly guy a chance to prove themselves. Yeah, we may work dead end jobs, don't have a ton of money, but I can still try my butt off to give a woman the world. Might take me a while, but all I can do is work my butt off till it pays off. I really want to know what his generation is. I really want to know because yeah, like what is this even? And so many people from many generations have some form of variety of women only like the bad guys. But this person is saying you can't even talk to these women because they believe they deserved a greed filled life. How do you even know what a woman believes she deserves if you haven't talked to them? There's a lot of projection going on in here. And what he's been seeing lately, maybe he shouldn't be hanging around guys that treat women like I don't know, I'm just spitballing here. And the fact that he acknowledges that he's ugly and he doesn't have very much money seems like a personal problem that he needs to work through. The part in the middle that I have a question marked by, we're reading zero peaches, ma'am. I don't really know who wrote that or why that's in the middle, but whatever. I just wanted to let y'all know why that question mark was in there. But he just seems like he's going to be single for a long time because he doesn't know women, he doesn't talk to women, yet he has these opinions of women, and he's not a good looking guy, and he doesn't seem to have a very great personality. He does a lot of cussing, and the only reason why he would not treat a woman like is because his mother would whip his butt. But what if his mother wasn't here anymore? Would he go back? Would he revert to the whole treating women like because there'll be no consequences? He's not able to do things just because they're the right things to do, but it's just because mama said so. That's how some people that do religion do things as well. They are good people supposedly because they might go to okay, never mind. Let me go to some other. So this person sums up what I just said. So he is self-admittedly broke, dead in job, ugly, will take an exceptionally long time to succeed. Also, curses a lot, judgy, bitter. He is all that. And his only redeeming quality is that he ideally won't treat you like he already hates women. What a keeper. This person says he definitely treats women like crap. People who don't treat women like crap don't have to point it out like it's some special achievement to treat others decently and with respect. Yes, look how condescending and judgy he is towards women in that post. Many of these dudes that get up and write all these things about what they think that women think are literally just miserable humans. And that misery is going to keep them in a cycle of more misery and loneliness. Let me know what you think about this one. Okay, next post comes from the Tinder subreddit. She captions it, usually I get wow, congrats. Just ghost me. I don't need the truth. Laugh emoji. Okay, let's look at the screenshots. Okay, so the man is in the gray. He says, ha ha ha, well, in parking lots, usually pedestrians do have a right of way. Did you give them the bird or anything cool? And then he says, also curious, sober from drinking, is there an issue there or and she says, no, I just expressed Jesus really loud. And she says, yes, I do have an issue. It was bad. I was drinking so much, like a bottle of whiskey a day. I'm over 3 years sober. And he says, oh, so you'd say you're an alcoholic. Like one drink will send you on on a bender. She says, probably. I'm not going to try. Why? He says, I was with someone who had the same issue and there was a relapse. It put me through one of the worst periods I've ever had within a relationship. It's one thing to choose not to drink because you don't want to. It's a completely different thing to avoid it due to addiction. Don't want to ghost you. So just letting you know it's not something I'd be willing to deal with and worry about again. Alcoholism for me is a stopper. She says, I suppose I get that. I'm sorry you experienced that. I don't have to avoid it. I choose not to drink because I don't like who I become and I don't want to drink now that I've been sober this long. Everybody is different. Good luck. Now, you can tell that she's being sarcastic in the title. Just ghost me. I don't need the truth. But I think that this was a very respectful interaction, especially since they're on a dating site and people do have their red lines, their boundaries, the things that they will not accept. And he was honest with her and she was honest with them. I don't think that there was any bad players in this situation, but I do want to know, what do you think? Would you rather know the truth or would you rather be ghosted? I would rather know the truth. And he wasn't disrespectful in it. He's like, I've been there, I've done that. I don't want to do that again. And she's like, I bet. I understand. This person says, seeing respectful interactions like this give me hope for humanity. Crude Dude says, this is a perfect example of why ghosting is a head move. This is how it's done. Clearly state the reason so the person doesn't have to wonder and beat themselves up. Exactly. This is good to me. This person says, but she's actually complaining and preferring that she was ghosted. It's proof there is no right answer. You ghost, you're an a hole. You don't ghost and explain, you're an a hole. Okay, so this person here says the OP used the crying to tears emoji in the comment. That said to me, it was actually a funny, sarcastic statement. In actuality, it was appreciated, but it stung enough to joke about in the title. I can think of a lot of reasons they'd share it with everyone. Nobody appreciates being ghosted. I've always felt it was a maneuver employed by emotionally stunted individuals, often because they assume everyone to be stunted as they are due to self centeredness, fear of criticism, only being available for positive reinforcement, and not being able to express feelings added to the why of it. It's a favor, really. Being ghosted is a tale. It's not about the ghostee at all. It is about the immaturity of the person doing the ghosting. If they don't have the ability to make a usable estimation of themselves, they sure as F can't make out the personality of someone else. And then the OP says, yes, you are correct. Thanks for your comment. So, yes, she was being sarcastic. She did appreciate knowing, but it's stung. So the person in the middle says, well, let me at least help a little more. I concur and read it the same way, but congrats on 3 years. Yay. I'm proud of you. That's amazing. And thanks for being understanding, even though it sucks. I can understand both sides and sounds like you can as well, but everyone who gets sober deserves a congrats. Have a blessed evening. Love your username. Now, I will say I'm sharing this because we do need some positive stories and someone getting sober and being understanding of why somebody would want to opt out of that situation is understandable. This is a decent human interaction. Y'all jump in, let me know what you think of these two stories. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Okay, so we have an Am I the A hole thread from a woman. And like I usually say, women are simply asking for validation to feel normal human emotions. She says, am I the a hole for being upset my hubs splashed coffee on me on purpose? Y'all, no, she's not the a hole. But let's read it. She says, since he decided to check in with his coworkers and bring it up at dinner the last 3 nights, I thought I would check in here. This seems so silly to me to keep bringing up. We went to a nice dinner out Saturday night before another event. Nice restaurant, tablecloths, etc. We were laughing and enjoying dinner. Really great evening, my hubs, myself, and our 2 teens. At the end of dinner, we all ordered a cappuccino with dessert. The kids added a ton of sugar to theirs, and with permission, I reached my spoon over to my daughter's cappuccino to taste hers. As I was carefully bringing the spoon back to my mouth, he intentionally, as a joke, when the spoon of coffee got close to my face, he grabbed my arm and shook it, splashing it on my face, shirt, and the table. Not a huge mess, but it took 2 little cocktail napkins to clean it up. I didn't laugh. He was cracking up. It hurt my feelings and embarrassed me. My eyes started to well up, but determined not to ruin the night, I just cleaned up. The kids were not impressed with his antics, which, speculating here, was the only reason why he apologized. I accepted his "I'm sorry, I was just messing around with you" apology. When he noticed my eyes were welling up, he said very loudly, "Oh my God, are you freaking crying?" To which I replied, "No, I'm not." Then went back to enjoying the night and after dinner event, determined not to let it mess up our family date night. I thought it was over. The last two nights at family dinner, he has made he has made of jabs every time someone mentions really anything. He will say, "At least I didn't cry and ruin dinner," over and over again. Okay. Mind you, a single tear never fell. Mascara was not compromised. Not an eye was dabbed except to get coffee drops off my face. When even the kids were like, "Okay, getting old," he said that sometimes he forgets he can't roughhouse with me like the guys. So I said, "Okay, name one time where you have thrown food at one of your guy friends or coworkers." He could not. I said, "Even with your best friend, when have you as an adult in your late 30s or early 40s been out and been like, 'Eff it, I'm gonna splash a drink to be funny'?" He couldn't. Still not fighting about it, just making a point. Like, it's not normal behavior. So then today, for the third day at dinner, he comes to tell a story about how his coworker was out at a nice restaurant and had an intrusive thought and flung mashed potatoes on his wife's face. Now, I have met this coworker and I just said, "I doubt that happened. I will for sure ask about it the next time I see him." And then he said, "Can you guess how it came up?" And I said, "Obviously, you're still talking about the coffee incident from Saturday." Anyways, am I the a hole for being upset but not making any big deal about it? Simply not laughing at my own expense. I already told y'all like 3 pages ago that she was not the a hole, and she's still not the a hole. He's totally an a hole, and I'm glad that nobody laughed. Nobody made it okay, not even the children. This person says, "Not the a hole, and it irks me to no end that people flip out on you for having a controlled emotional reaction. Oh my God, are you crying? Like that's a choice? Your husband is a massive turd. You should splash coffee on him the next time you're out. He can handle a little roughhousing." And then she says, "Edit, a lot of y'all are violent. Yikes." There must be a lot going on in the comments. I didn't see a lot as I was scrolling, but I didn't take a lot of time to scroll. Some ugly McFugly, that is a great name, says, "I know, right? When a normal person tries to be funny, but it ends up hurting someone, they feel bad and instantly apologize. His reaction is the main problem, in my opinion. He did something that made a person he loves sad, and he got angry that she was sad. Who sees a sad person and their response is anger? A person that's not a very decent person." This person says, "Exactly. The bad joke isn't even the problem. The problem is that he persists in trying to convince her reaction was wrong and that what he did was absolutely fine. Bringing it up repeatedly, trying to use the 'my work friend did this to his wife, you're just too sensitive' bit, which she believes was actually alive. That is where he becomes the a hole. He's been the a hole throughout this whole thing." This person says, "It almost seems like he was trying to get a bad reaction from her so he could make her feel worse for it. Then he didn't get a major reaction. He keeps acting like he did. It's really ick. Makes me wonder what other red flags he waves." This person says, "Someone who knows they have been a F wit and prefers gaslighting to apologizing." Okay. Crying is not a voluntary act. It's essentially the body releasing pressure. Some people also cry when they get very angry. It also serves a social function. If the reaction to that is contempt, you sort of know how a person thinks about someone else, not the a hole. This one was interesting to me. A therapist once told me it's emotional incontinence. Sometimes it leaks out, no control. That was an interesting way to put it. Lastly, this person is quoting the part where she says, "Some people also cry when they get angry." And then they respond with, "God, I'm like that and I hate that. I can't just control it." Sometimes you can't control it. Having emotions is a completely human thing to do. it happens. And some people use that as a barometer for things. You can know how to treat others based on their reactions. This is how we communicate, it's part of how we communicate with other humans. You guys go ahead, jump in the comments. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. So yesterday I was busy. I didn't get to Reddit, but I did see this post really early and I at least got the post. I don't know what it looks like today, but he says he is 30. He says, I am starting to resent my wife, who's also 30, for not being my ex. What steps do I take to rebuild our relationship? I'm wondering if he could just magically turn her into to the ex. Like, is there some magic or something? Anyways, he says, I background. I've been with my wife Erin for 7 years and married for 5. We have a 2-year old. 2 years ago, 2 years ago, he has a 2-year old. Keep this in mind. 2 years ago, I fell in love with the greatest woman ever, Diamond. I never cheated on my wife before that, and I still say I didn't. What we had was true love. Disclaimer: my wife is a kind soul, but we don't have that spark that we used to. I miss the spark, intensity, and the passion that we had in the beginning of our relationship. I filed for divorce to be with Diamond, like we agreed, but for reasons unknown, Diamond got cold feet. My relationship with Diamond lasted for 11 months. Afterwards, my wife and I got back together because the divorce wasn't official yet. Now, Erin is a great woman, but she's not Diamond. After getting back together with Erin, every little thing she does bothers me. The way she gets dressed to go to work, the way she makes my coffee, everything. Unfortunately, I began taking it out on her by starting arguments and being snappy. Erin is a great person and doesn't deserve that. Fallout. I realized that I needed to take a step back after what happened last night. My wife put the baby to sleep and said she was going to shower and head to bed early. She asked if I wanted a snack or something before I go to bed. I said no. She said she loves me and kissed me on the cheek. I didn't say anything. And she said, Why don't you love me? She said, I'm doing everything I can, but you, I don't know. I just told her point blank, You're not her. That hurt her a lot, and she just went upstairs. And when I joined her an hour later, she was still crying. She cried all night in the master bathroom that I couldn't sleep. She stopped and went to bed finally at 3:30. I feel so effing terrible, and I want to do my part to rebuild our passion. Please help any way you can. At this point, the whole man rubbish service just needs to come in, swoop you up, and put you in the rubbish bin, because there is no redeeming qualities about you, and you are a terrible, terrible person. And she needs to extricate herself from the situation if the whole man rubbish removal service is not called. Why women put up with this to have some semblance of a relationship is beyond my capacity. Women deserve better. Um, the emotional things that people inflict on women is just not cool, and women deserve better. And women need to understand that having a relationship like this is not better than being single. Jay Marie says, You sound awful. That was deliberately mean and hurtful. Divorce her. She deserves better. The OP says, What I said was mean and hurtful. You are right. Last night, I really reflected and decided I will work on this because she does deserve better. This person said, Work on it by giving her the greatest gift of divorcing you. Spindacita says, What she deserves is a divorce. Your daughter was born 2 years ago, and your affair started 2 years ago, meaning the moment your wife was going through a monumental change in her mind, body, and soul, you decided that instead of going on that journey and thereby deepening y'all's love, you'd suction cup yourself to the chick who'd given you the time, the nearest chick who'd given you the time of day. Even now, you refuse to take true responsibility for your misdeeds by claiming she was your one true love, like she didn't drop you the moment shit got real. That's not love. You don't know what love is, because love is deep, profound, and meaningful, and you're a puddle of stupid. A puddle that is going to make everyone in you miserable until you get it together or they cast you out. A puddle of stupid is the best phrase I've heard on Reddit. Okay, so this person says, Great, but you already did some long lasting damages on her. Bye bye her self esteem. Bye bye her trusting you. You want to do what's right, leave her. And then the OP says, if she wants a divorce, I'll give it to her. She doesn't. That may change, but it's not her place. But it's not place to decide. Oh, okay, maybe saying, but it's not my place to decide what's best for her and leave her. I don't exactly know what he's saying here. Maybe he's saying that since she doesn't want me to leave, that I'm not going to leave. I don't know. Maybe that's what. So this post was cross-posted on Reddit, on Wiki, and Am I the Devil? So y'all should know that the comments were giving it to him. What a piece of garbage. Child is 2 years old, started cheating 2 years ago. How hard is it to focus on the family you created instead of trying to get your peen wet? Hope the wife leaves him. This person then quoted the part where it says she cried all night in the master bathroom and I couldn't get sleep. And then they say, yeah, there's a lot of issues here, extremely self centered. At no point did he take responsibility other than saying he feels bad. What do you feel bad about, bud? Maybe being a total piece of to your wife and child? And then this person says, but it's worse than that, even. It irritates him now. She makes his coffee. She asks him if he wanted a snack before she went to bed. He's unhappy with how she is serving him. Entitled isn't enough of a descriptor for this dude. So gross. This person says, I love to know what about her getting dressed pisses him off so much. Is it what she wears? Does she hum to herself while she dresses? Does she put her pants on right leg first and he thinks it should be left? I can't imagine getting annoyed by something so normal. This person says she simply has the audacity to exist. And then this person says, like he's being forced to stay married to her. Yeah, this one was pretty bad, and I really do not believe in staying married to someone that you don't want to be married to. And I say that for both sides. You're making everybody miserable by staying together. What is the point of this? What is the point? He's making her miserable and she's miserable, and then her existing is making him miserable. This is not something that's going to last forever. Cut your losses and leave. But y'all let me know what you think. Jump in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, share. I was scrolling the Twitter 2 days ago and I found this post. She captions it with, I'm sorry, but this sure funny, LOL. Okay, so the title, this is the title, and this is in the teacher subreddit. He says, I'm a teacher and my students call me the N-word. Now, I immediately went to the teacher subreddit, and by the time I got there, the post was deleted. Okay, so let's look at the post. The whole post is on Twitter. He says, yes, serious post. This is my first year teaching at a high school that is Title I. I'm a white male. I have great relationships with the kids, but they make comments. Several of my black students call me the N word. I have tried to ignore it, and I can, but I don't know if I should be. For example, I made a joke, and one of the black kids laughs and says, this N word is crazy, and I just pretend I didn't hear it. I sent out a message on Remind about homework, and a black student replied, N word, what homework? What? I know by ignoring it, it gives them the pass to continue. They are nice kids, but I feel like I shouldn't have to be the one to fix their language, nor do I want to try to and end up on the 6 o'clock news for picking this battle. I just find it strange that I am being called this slur as a white male. Okay, so like I said, the post was deleted, but some of the comments under the post were still there. No, all of the comments were still there. It's just the post was gone. Okay, so this person says it always depends on the school you're at. I worked at a majority black charter as a white guy, and we had a no cursing policy that included the N word. I was expected to enforce it, and if I did, I had the school to back me up. They told me that even if I was uncomfortable, the best explanation I can give to students is that regardless of culture, it's still unprofessional language. If you're working in an office environment, you need to learn to code switch. If you're in a customer facing position, you can't usually use that language in front of a customer. I think that's the best way to approach it, but you have to treat all unprofessional language like that, not just the N word. If you don't correct it, if a kid says the S word or F, then you have no leg to stand on for the N word. The fact that teachers are having to teach behavior is a major failure on the okay, people don't like it when parents get held accountable. So teachers should not have to teach behavior. This should not be, kids should not be able to disrupt the classroom environment with this. Okay, never. One of the reasons why I decided not to put my children in public schools is because one of my first jobs when I moved to Chicago, I was in schools as a recruiter for a college, and I am 5 foot tall. I still look young now, and I'm 43. So imagine me 20 years ago. I definitely blended in. And the language that these children used was atrocious then. I would take the bus from one side of Chicago into downtown because it's easier. That's a cheaper way to get into downtown. And sometimes I would hear the language of these children, and I'm like, there is zero chance that I put my children in schools in an urban environment like that. And I know people might say stuff about me, classist, elitist, whatever, whatever, but no. Part of cultural impact comes from peers. It comes from parents, it comes from peers, it comes from it comes from a lot of different influences. And this is not how I wanted to raise my children. But some more of these, that's just a personal aside. This person says, this is exactly where my mind went. Set a professional code of behavior for the classroom and support it during the year. Maybe if it's a new change, take a minute to talk to each kid individually first. Something like, hey, I don't want to change you or anything, but we're going to try to be more professional next week. And while you're in school, could you please not use the N word or anything else you wouldn't say in a job interview? This person said, job interview. I ain't know about no job interview. I'm 8 years old in Word. And you know what? They probably would snap on him like that. This person says, I like that explanation. I've also had conversations with my Black students and said, when you're in mixed company, you're giving everyone permission to use that word too, even if they don't have the right to. This person said, I said the same thing too, though I add, they'll think they have the right to do it because you're doing it in front of them. It's setting them up for a false expectation that they got an N-word pass. Okay, y'all, you guys go ahead, jump into this conversation. I really do want to know what you guys think about this, using the N word and a teacher being called this and how to handle it. Like, comment, share, and if you've made it this far, go ahead and hit the subscribe button.